Warm greetings. Welcome to today's session of Monday Munching and Musing with Women for Water. Today is a special session as we have crossed more than 50, and also special because we have now Youth Council coming forward to take the sessions with us after listening to some of the greats from the water sector and mid-career professionals. The Monday Munching and Musing with Women for Water is conducted with the support of Water Resources Council of the Women's Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, abbreviated as WICCI-WRC, and in collaboration with W4W Foundation and media partner Counterview. My name is Mansi Bal Bhargav, and I'm representing the WICCI-WRC as the national president, and I'm also the founder director of W4W Foundation. I'm glad to start this conversation, namely Monday Munching and Musing with Women for Water, which we co-equally refer as Blue Limbs. The conversation is aimed to share the worries, the wisdom, and things around which are happening with the water sector for the woman, by the woman, and of the woman. In here, we hope to learn about the water endeavors or of the woman in a regular disciplined manner, like a master class. Today in this session, we are here to listen more from the Youth Council, as I mentioned, and we have with us Shubhi Kesarwani, Deepa Gupta, Monami Bhattacharya, and also now we have started inducting our male friends from the water sector. So we have our first Youth Council, Shivam Singh, with us. So thank you so much, Shubhi, Deepa, Monami, and Shivam. And it's really a privilege for me to have a discussion with all of you because I am very hopeful with the way youth is going to take the water sector forward. So I hope you are okay that we are live and we are also recording the session. So shall we go ahead?
Yeah, perfectly fine. And thank you for calling us.
Yes, thank you.
Let me start with a very, very simple question, and we will keep it simple for answering also. So we go with the same sequence as I introduced you with the names. And let us start with a brief introduction of each of you, and especially focusing on how did you start your water journey and when did you realize that you belong here? So over to you, Shubhi.
Thank you, ma'am, for having me here. Very good evening, everyone. I'm Shubhi, and to start with responding to ma'am's question, I started my journey in water almost like 5 years ago. And it happened suddenly for me because I was working at the Chief Minister's Office of Haryana as a part of the Chief Minister's Good Governance Associates Fellowship as the assistant manager at the headquarters. One of my many roles was also to understand the number of complaints that the Chief Minister's Office receives over the year and what are they about. And I realized in the Haryana, the second highest number of complaints that the office used to receive was around water. And year on year, the trend was same, nothing changed. And I was too shocked to see the amount of revenues which were invested by the government to mitigate the damages. And often I used to ask, what in further analysis I found, it's not just one season, it's basically 6 complete seasons of increased number of complaints where one season during the summers, all the farmers were requesting the government to supply more water since there were water shortages, electricity issues, due to which they could not pump out water. And because Haryana being an agrarian state is quite dependent on water for their irrigation and all the other works. And secondly, industries are also dependent. And during the second part of the season, during the monsoons, they were really worried about what will happen to the crops when it is flooding, when there's water lying everywhere and nobody knew how to manage that. Also, in addition to that, there were huge number of complaints about the salinity of water, due to which the water was not potable, not good for any purposes. And to me, as a young person of 25 years old, was analyzing that, what happened? Why can't we do it? One season they're complaining about shortage of water, another season they're constantly complaining about excess of water. I was like, some total can be equated, thinking like a maths heavy person. And I was like, it can be worked about. What's the major deal about it? But somebody just needs to manage it properly. Little did I know that the governance is even more important when it comes to management. So I started working on behalf of the office of the chief minister with the various departments, some 6 departments, all the important engineering wings, to understand what is the loophole in terms of governance. Is it the financing which is a shortage, or human resource, communication, technology? What is wrong? I realized the policies did exist, but it was the guidelines which were often missing, or the implementation, due to which implementation couldn't happen due to limitation of technology, knowledge, capacity building, or simply intentions. So I came down at the district level because that was the headquarters for the implementation. State is where the policies are made mostly, but it is the district where they are implemented. So I came down to work here and to understand that what's going wrong. In the process, I used to work with 20 odd departments. I created a special purpose vehicle for the district administration of Gurgaon, March 2019, to work and focus dedicatedly on water, because again, these 20 odd departments had interferences with water, but they were not precisely focusing on water as main agenda. So we created this entity called Gurujal with the focus on water, and then aligning with the 20 odd departments to make it happen, be it from multiple perspectives. And we started working it out. So identifying different challenging areas, putting the right policies, technology, communications, governance mechanisms, human resource or capacity building to deliver the problem holistically was something that I have been working on. And now we are working as an independent entity so that we can work on multiple other districts apart from Gurgaon as well. And it's an independent organization, and the pursuit is long, the crisis is too urgent, and the matter is very, very sensitive. So yeah, that's a little bit.
Yeah, if I put it in a line, it will be like, you just got interested in the Chakravyuh of water, which is the water governance, the complex system of governance. Yeah. So let us move to our next guest today. Would you like to just share how did you start and how do you position yourself today, Deepa?
Yeah, thank you so much, Mansi. So if I'd say that I had never planned to be in the water sector, so maybe just like accidentally, I landed up here as in the water thing, because I was working in the development sector. So I have seen the challenge of excess of water and the lack of water thing. So I had worked in Bihar and I've seen how the people have suffered in the more flood prone area, and the people who have like suffered in the drought prone area. So the challenges are very much different. But when I decided to go for the further studies, like to do my PhD, so the context was sanitation, and my area is marketing. So you have to market your product. So water is my product here, and the toilet facility was the product. So if we start talking about the toilet without water make no sense in India. We are not in the Western countries. Without water, we can use toilet. We need toilet for water to flush, to maintain hygiene, cleanliness, everything. So everybody was asking why people are not adopting toilet, or why there's less number of construction. So we are not talking about what is the condition of water in that particular village. It's like the women are like most burdened to water burden, shedding the most water burden in the society, because only 38% of the households have access to piped water facility in the rural dwellings. So though we have a lot of schemes, Mission Bhagirathi, Jal Jeevan Mission and all, then we have this data, only 38%. That is really ironical or challenging. We need to think about it. And then my study suggests that 77% of rural women are sharing the water burden. They are the main carrier of water. They have to travel to some common water point. Then they have to carry the water for all their needs, for consumption, to feed their cattle, to maintain hygiene, cooking. So, and still the 50% of the rural households are dependent on the unprotected water source. That is the open wells, which is not maintained. So that is really challenging, and that grabbed my attention, that it's not only necessary we talk about only toilet, or are we maintaining hygiene. During the COVID time, you imagine We were washing so many hands, washing clothes, washing so many things. We're using so much of water, right? So without water, we are nothing. So that's how I landed up here. Yes.
Thank you. I know you for quite some time, so it makes me quite comfortable knowing your journey, and it is very, very heartening to see how you are growing as a professional from a very enthusiastic PhD scholar. So please keep up the good work. So let us move to our next guest today. So yes, over to you, my dear sweet Monami.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for having me here, and good evening to all. So, first and foremost, I am a novice in this field. I've just landed over here, and I am fortunate that I'm learning from one of the brilliant, experts in the field. So, my journey, if I have to state it in short, it began with my Tristan College when I came face to face with Adi Ganga in Kolkata, and I went to the banks and saw that such a lot of garbage was just casually dumped in the banks. And that's when I started wondering what is happening. From there, I went on to pursue my master's in TIS. And there again, I got to learn more about the water sector, and my interest gradually developed. It didn't happen overnight, it happened gradually. And
Yes.
at present, I am working as a fellow with W4W Foundation. So, yes, my journey with water continues.
Yeah, and I'm really privileged to have you as our research fellow at W4W. So thank you, Monami. Yes, dear Shivam, I also know you for quite some time. So, but it would be good to see where did you start and what are you up to these days?
Good evening, everyone. I'll say my journey started in two phases. One, when I was introduced about the water domain, I was in my last year of graduation, and then we were part of some international competition that was about sustainability, and we had proposed to go ahead with rainwater harvesting. So that year, I did my climate reality training. I became a climate reality leader, and I started to explore opportunities in the sector. But then there was a break. I was doing my master's, and immediately after doing that, I started my own firm, which is Explore It, and it basically specializes into execution of projects around sustainability, where water is like a crucial part of it. I'll say 30% of our work, what we do, is majorly about water. And I'll say here, then there are a few interesting things about water. One is understanding the potential that how it can cater to the community. That is one, and also understanding the problems that people are facing. So I come from a city where we never had a problem of water crisis. To be honest,
Yes.
we have. I mean, Varanasi is like we are blessed with Mother Ganga, so we yeah. So every time pani nahi hai, we just switch on the the submersible pump, and we have all the water, right? Good enough for drinking. When I came to Pune and other cities, I saw that people really struggle. And then I think my first, I'll say, encounter with the water crisis was I was traveling from Pune to Chhattisgarh, and near Nagpur, somewhere in the that Vidarbha region only. So the train was stopping at a multiple places, and there was no halt. So we were very confused, and we asked the TT, and he said that actually what is happening, there is no water in these villages. So people are pulling the chain. A person, he he onboards the train at the previous station, and he will just keep on pulling the chain so that the people can come on the train and take the water from there. So, and that too, I think, I'm telling about something like very late in the night, around 1 or 2. That was one. Then I visited.
It's like a theft. It's like a theft. Interesting.
Yeah. But then you also understand like something.
Yes.
I mean, water, I never thought that it will be such a hard thing to get. I mean, but then that was my first encounter. And the second one I will say is with Colonel Dalvi, we started visiting the Marathwada region. And there, one family getting 100 liters per day per family. That's it. And the quality of water is so bad that you can't do anything with it. You can't drink it for sure. So slowly, gradually, then, I mean, I thought that, okay. And also in terms of when you're looking to, build your career, I think water also provided me at least a platform where we were able to convince multiple corporates to invest in the rainwater harvesting module. So working alongside with Colonel Dalvi, I got an opportunity to work on one of the world's biggest project on rainwater harvesting, where the entire district is going tanker-free now in Bid, which is again a part of Marathwada and very, very sad in terms of water crisis. So one last interesting thing, I just want to share my experience. So there is a place called Munshi, which receives thrice the water that we get in the Pune city. It is on the outskirts of the district only. But they don't have water since it's on an elevation and there's no natural aquifer to store the water. So every once in a week, they get water. So in fact, if you look at my Instagram feed, I have uploaded her picture, the lady's picture. She was holding like something. She was coming down from the hill to get some work done and then going upstairs. While she was explaining the thing, right, we get water. So we thought, okay, if she's getting water, then she will be happy with it. So we asked her, how much water do you get? So she said that at least once in a week we get it. And that is okay with us. That is the kind of, such an eye-opener moment for me. Okay, I said that people are suffering from water crisis, but at times they are also comfortable with it.
Resilience.
The quality of
Shivam,
water, the entire
resilience.
area is having 30% of the population is reporting jaundice and they're comfortable with it because there's a hospital. So I think understanding the crisis more, coming up with some creative solution, that is what I'm trying to do. And I'm blessed with some amazing mentors like you, Fauzia ma'am, Dalvi sir, and all the climate leaders over there. So I think till now we have done some good work, and I would like to just continue this and reach out to more community with the solution and not just telling about the crisis that we are suffering from. So yeah, that's it from my side.
Very interesting. And you really brought forward the way people are resilient to water scarcity to security. Yeah? Because we are focusing here on your lives, and I would like to request all of you to focus on your career and lives, your thoughts and all, so that we can make it, a conversation which is about you, because the conversations on the context can be really endless and very, very challenging for us to wrap up, because all of you are from different fields and different locations. So let me come to the next question, which is again related to your work. And some of you have already explained your works and your concerns, how you got attached. And I often use the word drowning into the water sector or sinking into the water sector, emotionally, morally, professionally. So what kind of tasks you find quite, interesting, or let's say you enjoy working on, and what kind of tasks you find quite challenging? Because water sector has many, many facets to engage in. So, and you have already mentioned where you are engaging in. So maybe it is interesting to see some of the things which are, which you really enjoy doing, or which are quite smooth sailing and which are quite, challenging. Over to you, Shubhi.
Interesting question, ma'am. That gets my brain juices working now. So yeah, I'm trying to draw a barrier between what is exciting and challenging, because for me, what has been challenging has been more exciting. But having said that, I think what drives me is like how just by the mere shift of intention, you can make things work, is something which drives me. It's very, very exciting. Yeah, exciting for me. Be anywhere, any vertical. So when I talk about water as an umbrella, water sector as an umbrella, for me, I see again from top, from policy to implementation and communities, behavioral change. I see all within our organization, we work on all different angles. And I think just seeing how different energies come together. And again, Fauzia ma'am has been an amazing start from day one and rather before that. So just puring the different energies at the right momentum to get the work going. And again, what also helps me understand that how the traditions and the science needs to be amalgamated together, packaged together in a very sensitive manner when it comes to water, because as strong a boon water is, if not dealt with more care and sensitiveness, it can really, get polluted water can do so much harm. So just understanding that, I think that has been what has kept me exciting. So I basically work on a lot of problem statements which have not been cracked, and then I take it up and try and develop the entire structure around it and SOPs often around it, and then share it with the different peers in the sector or the organizations, be it starting with the wastewater ponds and now working around water auditing and finding different solutions to it. I think what has been challenging for me has been the behavioral change, no matter what the sector is. Again, within like, it could be right from working or engaging with the bureaucracy or the politicians, the community, even the people who are very, very technology agnostic, getting
Mhm.
across to them to just suggest the right solution has been tricky. Even something as simple as like water testing labs, but if you don't get the parameters right at the right point of time, that has been challenging. So how
Yeah.
to communicate the intention or the intention of service across to different professionals in the band has been challenging.
Yeah.
And
Interesting.
to keep the intention and the professionalism intact together. Yeah.
Interesting, because if we are still having the gap of communicating between the professionals, so we can imagine the wide gap we have between the professionals and policy and the professionals and people. So we have a long way to go. That also ensures that we have a profession
Mm.
which can keep us going. So apart from the problems. So yes, Deepa.
Yeah. So very rightly said, Shubhi, that behavioral change is one very much important thing, and that is not only the ground level, but also the top level management, how we want to implement the certain policy at the grassroots, right? So I'll give you three or four example from my study only. So one of my area is was Medak district in Telangana. So Bhagirathi, Mission Bhagirathi was implemented there. That is a very beautifully implemented scheme I have found during my study. But there was some challenges where I have found there are a lot of caste-based discrimination from the local bodies, right? So I have seen the village was divided into two different parts. The one part they say it's a main village, and the other part they say, oh, they are the people who are belong to the SC community now. They are the tribal people. So all the implementation have done in the main villages, and the water, the connection was not provided to the lower caste people. So it means even in the implementation strategy, we have that caste based or gender based discrimination in the implementation thing. So this discrimination is very much challenging for the proper implementation of any public policy at the grassroots. Okay. And the other thing, other example I'll give from Bihar only, where in the villages the pipe water, all the hardware work has been done. Like we have, you will find the pipes are there with the taps are there, but the water is not flowing. So if somebody is if the someone is going to the field, if somebody is going in the field, if not experienced, they say, oh, everybody everywhere is piped water is there, so there must be water. But when you ask and go beyond that, you will not find water there. So we, as a rural household or the urban household, we have the right to access to the water, the equitable resources, we have that right to have now. And the quality water we are saying, somewhere it is like more fluoride, you see more arsenic, you will find we are not having the access to the quality water. So these are the things is, I think, way much challenging. So one more thing
What do
I've
you enjoy? What do you
oh
enjoy working on in the water sector? What
yeah,
is your enjoying moment, aha moment? It may not be successful, but then you feel
yeah.
the drive to go on and on and on. What keeps you going?
Uh-huh. I think that aha moment will be very difficult me to
Of
tell
course
right
not.
now, because you see, there are so many challenges, and the challenges keep like drive you to go
The
beyond that.
challenges
Okay, this is the thing we want to
itself
solve
are
this.
enjoying.
Yeah, yeah, the
In
challenge I want to
another way,
solve this.
it's the nagging behavior of ours, huh?
Yeah,
It's our nagging.
that's
We have to keep nagging in the sector to keep
right.
going. So yes, thank you, Monami.
Ma'am, for me, I think both the exciting and the challenging part would be to go and talk to the community at large.
And we did that
So,
recently.
yes,
Both
we
of
did
us
that.
were together.
We did that very recently. So, it was challenging. There were logistical issues and all. It was challenging, but it was exciting at the same time. So, I just want to share one incident. in my college days, I had the opportunity to go and visit a very small slum dwelling community near the Adi Ganga banks. So this community, they were quite content with what the government built them, houses near the Adi Ganga with stench coming out of it. But they were very happy with the fact that the government built them houses. But the living conditions, they quite often ignored it. So it was challenging to look at what they were facing and at the same time not realizing what they were facing, what they were being deprived of. But it was exciting at the same time to learn that what is ground reality. So this entire to and fro actually makes me motivated and go on learning about water more.
Interesting. I think what we are learning here is that the challenges itself bring opportunities, because that also keeps us going. Shiva, you already
Yeah,
expressed many experiences from your ground. So
yeah. So that's what's the beauty of, I'll say, how our Prime Minister explains it, like how you find how you convert a crisis into an opportunity, and that is what is exciting about everything. I mean, if I just need to tell you very funny incident. So when we're going to Beat district, so we asked after the project got completed, ki what will happen now? You will get water. So that lady said, ki no, actually, our boys will be very happy without because of it, because people were not marrying their daughters to those villages because they had no water, and they had a problem ki how she will survive, how she will cook. I mean, the entire family is already troubling. Putting another person there, it will divide the work because every family is getting this much of water. So that is the interesting part, where you are able to identify every crisis into an opportunity, where you come and you provide, like how we give our introduction, that we are solutionists. We are here to give you, I mean, a problem statement for sure, but at the same time, a real on ground way to solve it. Something like which we have recently started is, as you know, that people are scared of using public toilets. And I mean, if you, and I can tell you that I can vouch that every, I'll say 9 out of 10 toilets are in a very bad state. And apart from that, there's another thing is the majority of these places will have at least one or the other tap which is continuously running. So there was
that's the irony of our provision, huh?
yeah. So then I was fortunate enough to meet this person from Delhi. He was a IIT Delhi graduate, and he had invented a mechanical product which caters to Indian problem, that is doing this waterless urinal. But the interesting part is that it is also meant for because in India, you know that people spit gutka and all these things in the urinal. So he created a product which is a waterless urinal, but meant for all these kind of Indian problems as well. So we did it in a public toilet, and then we got a feedback from the senior citizen that we were only able to spend 15-20 minutes in the park because since we are diabetic, we are not able to use the toilet. But since this product has got into there, the stinking has gone away. And again, it's saving water. Every day we are almost saving 80 liters per urinal. And that's where I feel that youngsters should be given this as a task. Take this case study, come up with a solution, and I'm telling you that they will come up with the best innovation available with the least
Absolutely.
effort that is involved in it. So yeah, that is what my work, and that's why it's always exciting.
That's very interesting, and I'm sure there are many more such interesting examples that makes the whole sector challenging, but at the same time very well put by Shivam, that if youngsters are given these challenges, they are also ready to take them up and turn them into opportunities. And I think that's where I think people like us, Fawzia, me, and many of our senior colleagues, we are very hopeful with the younger generation, and we love to work with all of you. Huh? And I just want to add one more little thing from the this round of question. When you talked about Mulshi, and then Deepa brought the case of caste. The Mulshi Satyagraha or Mahat Satyagraha was the first water Jal Satyagraha, which happened in the leadership of Baba Saheb, and that was not against the Britishers. It was between the caste people, like the higher caste people were not allowing the lower caste people to I personally do not agree to this whole word higher caste and lower caste, but just to bring these two interesting examples and cases together. So let me move on to our next question, which is now going to be a little bit more focused on why we are having a Monday Munching and Musing with Women for Water. And we move on to the aspect of leadership in the water sector. In a way, the word leadership or the idea of leadership is genderless. However, when we look at the gender aspect into it, and when we look at the presence of women and presence and participation of women into the water sector, the percentage of women leadership is bleak. We are not even talking about other genders in this platform. We're just focusing on women. And the global standard says 1 in 5 water professional is women, and India stands even less than 1 in 10. But then when we look at leadership, it is way too less even in the global standards. And then India, I mean, we don't even have to really look at the standards for India because we are really far, far away. Having said that, there are many good women leaders also, which the country has produced. I need to understand from you two important things. Do you know any women professionals or who you can identify as women leaders in the sector? They don't have to be literally sitting in the parliament, but they are really very brave, bold, or whatever you define. And that's my second question itself. How do you look at a leader? What kind of attributes do you assign to a person whom you can say that he or she is a leader? And then we can really look at both the questions together and see, I mean, if we are really understanding the idea of leadership and if women can really embrace those, attributes. I hope I make myself clear because I have clubbed two questions because we have 4 speakers and we have limited time. So Shubhi, over to you. So we are looking for skills from the leader. What are the skills you look up to in the leaders? And if you know some leaders, what do you appreciate? Over to you, Shubhi.
Yeah. I think specifically in the water sector, and if we were to talk about female leadership, I think Rohini
Yes, we want to focus there.
Yeah, and Rohini Nilinkani for me has been a spear leader, bringing up the cause over and over again, driving it through multiple of her initiatives, has been a powerful person there. And of course, I think I really look forward to Fawzia ma'am. She has been there. She has been spearheading a lot of initiatives, nurturing so many amazing young people, and also getting it translated into evidence-based research, which can be documented for the future generation. So I see that very powerful. When I look at a leader, I feel I can really, connect with those people or want to look forward to those people who can behold the idea of intention, who can hold the people, and who can do the action together. So anybody who is just walking, talking, and also being is for me a leader. Apart from that, also having the capability to influence so many more people. So anybody who's stuck around and been there has dealt with so many challenges and still be able to talk about the same thing and fight for it and work for it is a leader for me, truly.
Very interesting. We are gathering these attributes because later on sometime we would like to bring them together and these attributes and see how we can nurture more leaders in future. And we want to reduce the time for women leaders to emerge once we know them. So over to you, Deepa.
So, Mansi, this is such a not tricky and beautiful question for me, huh, Mansi? Because when you asked me, I was just thinking, I just roaming around in my thoughts, who is the women leader? I didn't find a single woman who is like more consistent, if I could say. So only name came in my, I think, Mansi, you are the role model. Because you're continuously talking about this, your advocacy, and then I remember the workshop you have done for pedagogy thing we have done in the Ahmedabad, and then the workshop we have done in Anand. So that was really brainstorming for me, and that And I'm really sometimes like, how Mansi can do this? Or now you are always energetic, and so it's about,
Nagging.
I'll
You
leave
gave
a
answers.
path.
All of you gave answers before, no? Opportunities and challenges.
Yes. So, but the consistency in the effort matters, I think. Women leader, if we say, okay, this one is doing good, but if the consistency is not there, we cannot say that it's going to impact or to create any change. Now, the current situation, mein, how can we add the value? So so that is the thing from my side. I think consistency means a lot.
Thank you so much. I am humbled. I was not expecting, but I will take it with a lot of humility. Thank you so much. Yes, Monami.
Ma'am, to me, I actually resonate with what Deepa just said. I have not
Thank
known
you.
many women leaders in the society. So I have known you, I have known Fauzia ma'am, and y'all have been kind of a role model to me in the water sector. To me, a leader is not one who sits in the parliament, who goes on giving lectures as such. But to me, a leader is anyone, even maybe a Kamwali Bai, who is just talking about water, who is concerned about water. To me, any person who is talking and concerned about water is a leader in the water sector.
So what kind of attributes you look at a person whom you may say that he or she is a leader? Because attributes are neutral, you know, it's not gender based.
Yeah.
Yes. So, ma'am, to me, a person who is concerned about water, who educates
Okay.
others about waters, would be a person who would be a leader in the water sector.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Yes, I see Fauzia is also around and she's sending message. So I'm going to get her in very quickly because if she's around. So Shivam, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am, for this question, because this is something which is like my favorite topic. I come from an HR background with leadership style as my core.
Yes.
I have written papers about it. So I'll just put copy paste to what I have been talking about this leadership thing. So there are two words which are my favorite words, and I think that is what I think for me the definition of a leader revolves around. The one is an enabler. So if I am
Yes.
working in a team, I'll ask my team to get the work done. Are you a leader? Maybe, maybe not. But if you're enabling everyone to make sure that they are identifying their ultimate potential and they're able to deliver, that is the enabling part of that person makes him a leader. The second one is a facilitator, where you don't just dictate the. I mean, again, in leadership quadrant, we have all learned autocratic
Yes.
style, democratic style, all of that. But not talking about that, just making sure that we are facilitating that change. And how will you make sure that the person is actually a leader if he or she has created that disruption in a creative way and it has created an impact and there is a result associated with it, that person is your leader. And I come from a city which is, I at least believe that it's the most woke city, Pune,
Yes.
and we are grateful to have so many leaders, especially women leaders, who have been
Yes.
working in the water sector for a very long time. Shailja
Yes.
Deshpande ma'am, I mean, what the
Yes.
work that she started with Jeevit Nadi, Anuja ma'am with Warrior Moms Group, and and so many other leaders. And what great quality I see, especially I would like to also put this gender specific observation that I have, is that women are very persistent about their problem statements. Men,
Yes.
I believe that they get distracted very easily. If they're not able to get the results, they will shift to another way, or maybe they will try. But a woman is very persistent. I mean, they are focused on result, and I think we all have seen it in our household. If you will ask your mom to wake you up at 6, she will do it, no matter how angry you become on her, but she will do it. So that's the beauty. I mean, when empathy meets with this persistence and that vision and creativity, the leader is born, and then the result is something which is inevitable, and it happens. It happens all the time.
Thank you so much. I think if we put all these things together into leadership qualities, it really already brings the leader. You can imagine how the leader should be. So really grateful that you could so clearly mention what are the leadership traits one the youth looks up to. And consistency comes very clear. I think even Shivam is mentioning about it. And then empowering is also very important, because showing power is very easy, but being empathic and also empowering others to make realize their own capability is, I think, the most important trait of a leader. Wonderful. So we move on to an important question again. Why we are having these sessions is the role of networks, and actually what I am doing, because we all of you are answering so wonderfully, I'm putting questions a little bit more difficult for you, because I'm clubbing two questions together and putting it together. So this round of question is about the role of networks or councils or associations. I'm sure you are part of other councils, associations, or networks, just like the WICCI Water Resource Council. So I would like to understand from you, how do you see the importance of these networks, and also the reason for you to join these networks. I mean, you may focus on WICCI Water Resource Council, but you don't have to be limited to there. And what are youth expecting from these kind of councils and associations, and what do they think they can offer to strengthen the network? Personally, from my generation, we always felt like, because the unity is a strength. Because in our time, water sector was a minority sector. It is no more. We may thank climate change and all the rising water distress, but still, how do you see these councils, and what, if you may also mention, if you are a member of other councils and associations, and what roles do you seek from them, and what do you offer to them? So I'm just putting the questions together. Over to you, Shubhi.
I think I one line is constantly hitting my mind, that, for me, these networks are as important to me as water is
Yes.
to human life, because this is what is giving me a lot of strength and energy, and also inspiration to keep taking a step ahead. This is where I get my intentions, knowledge, and actions aligned on day-to-day basis. So I am really grateful to be a part of many networks that I am. I think the expectations that I have from these forums or these networks is precisely the same, like a very collaborative effort, exactly like how nature is so benevolent and so open to sharing. I
Yes.
think these are the spaces which give me an opportunity to be vulnerable and ask questions, and also mention that I don't know a certain thing. Yes, I am willing to learn it, but I really want to learn if there is a better way of doing it. So these spaces give me a lot of, again, inspire me to keep doing it over and over again and be a better version of myself, and hence my organization on day-to-day basis. So this is precisely my expectation, which says, I really want to learn more people, their experiments with different concepts and more knowledge, more experiences, and a lot of energy sharing when I mean, these are exactly the things that I'm willing to offer to the network as well. Saying, can this be a win-win for all of us? Because this is going to be a very long haul fight with the crisis, and this is very urgent and sensitive against highlighting it. So how do we keep sharing everything that we have at the moment, right from energy to action?
Interesting. Because, when we were groomed in the school, we were always taught more about competition. And when we talk about these kind of platforms, we are talking about complementarities, and reducing the conflicts and all. So it becomes extremely important for us to understand how the youth is looking at it. Deepa?
So Mansi, what I think, the creation of knowledge is very important, and the sharing of the experience, which Shubhi has rightly mentioned also, and documenting the knowledge without documentation is no use, I guess. And then when you are recording this session, you are sharing with the bigger platform. So it means we are trying to share our knowledge to scale things. So that is very important, and to know the people, the like-minded people is very important. So people are working in the silos. We all are working in the silos, and we think we are the best. We are doing everything. Other people, oh, they are the very, they are no, not at par. But when you share experiences, your knowledges, you think no, there's updation. So all these things is very really matter. So yeah.
So what do you seek from any council which you join, and what do you think you can offer to such councils or associations for that matter? There must be some reason for people to join some council or association, you know. So apart from learning, do you see any tangibility there? I mean, apart from that?
Apart from that, I didn't understand what you were trying to like.
Saying that, do you seek any other aspects from joining a council in terms of some tangible activities, or would you like to offer something to these council activities which happen?
Definitely, Mansi. I would like to explore. Maybe right now I'm not able to like immediately
Sure.
offer a full time thing, like, but definitely we can talk and we can explore many opportunities together.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Yes, Monami?
Ma'am, I understand that each of us have knowledge in various fields, but to have
Yes.
those like complemented with each other, we need like channelized platforms, and that is where these councils come in. So
Hmm.
here, people from various walks of life join in, and they share their knowledge. Each of us can update others, and then exponentially grow. That helps our that helps the cause, like whatever we are trying to propagate, that helps the cause. We can spread the word further. So that is what I expect a council to do. Also, that is the thing that I would want to offer to the council. Whatever little knowledge I have, I would like to offer that to the council, and whatever little I can maybe do in person or through any channels, that is what I would also love to offer to councils like this.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Shivam. I know you are also part of larger networks as well, so it will be
Yeah.
interesting to hear from you.
Yes, ma'am. So I'm fortunate to be part of the Climate Reality Network. So we are almost a group of 1,000 climate reality leaders from all across India, and more than 50,000 from all across the globe. So that group itself. In fact, I'll say that when we say about life-changing movements, I'm not sure if that was a life-changing movement, but career-changing movement for me was that when I entered climate reality training, and I was trained in Delhi in 2015. And since then, it has been a great learning experience for me, where I met Fauzia ma'am, Dalvi sir, and others. There are so many active climate reality leaders. And one thing we think is this platform. All these networks they do provide. Uh, they bridge the gap between the person who is aspiring to become someone and people who have already achieved a lot. It's like one thing. What I think right now is very important. If seniors can tell us what will not work out, we at times as a creative youngster, you will feel that okay, this idea looks amazing, and this is going to work like anything. But I think here the role of a senior, a role of the network comes into the picture, where they guide you. Okay, it will work, but given the condition that you are also following this, you're making sure that all the SWOT analysis is done. So experience, there's no alternative to the experience. And if these networks, which they are already doing it in a beautiful capacity, so I think apart from climate reality, I'm part of multiple networks. Even in Pune, I'm part of the climate action cell, the carbon neutrality cell, the environment cell, electric vehicle cell. All these
I'll say 2
groups
minutes.
using for the networking opportunity, but at the same time, they teach you how to take the best way forward. So basically, they work as I'll say, a step where you try to do your own feasibility analysis before you really enter into the practical world. So yeah, that's it.
Wonderful. I think it's very important for even our generation, and you rightly put, I only do it for urban lakes, what one should not be doing, but very well put that if you can leapfrog what should not be done, we can also save time and reach the solutions which one should. And I think the network and platforms can be a very good, resource to save time, because we are sitting in kind of a, I must say, serious water crisis. If we can save time to bring us solutions, I think we can at least save many, many lives and talk about some future water conservation that way. So before I ask the last question, maybe I would like to invite Fazia, and if you would like to interact with some questions or some comments with them, and then I will hand it over to Anubhuti to ask the last question of our session. And then Ajit sir, if you want to chip in with Fazia, after Fazia, you may just take it up. Fazia, would you like to add something or ask something?
Mansi, I think thanks. You know, it's so interesting to listen to these young leaders, and I regard them also as leaders. And I think with all unique
Yes.
qualities that they have, working in diverse geographies of India. Sorry, I'm not able to switch on my video, but the fact is that all of you are doing a great job. Nothing much to add from my side. I think the conversation is going pretty well. If Ajit sir has something to add, but I really compliment all of you and keep up the good work.
Thanks, Fazia. Ajit sir, would you like to add something before we move on to the last question and I invite Anubhuti? Okay, I see he must be having some issue with, can you unmute yourself, Ajit sir? Okay, let me then give you initial thanks, because Anubhuti is going to do the formal vote of thanks. Thank you so much, all of you, Shubhi, Deepa, Monami, and Shivam. I think more and more we are interacting with youth council members, because this is our third youth council meeting. I am getting clearer what we should be doing more in the council, what I should be doing more as a senior, you know. There are so many things to learn from your generation, and today is another example that I learned so much from all of you, and I really hope that we keep learning from all of you, because it's only together we can do something. And I think an important aspect is the role of network, since water connects and we are connected with water, and I'm sure we will continue doing something together. If you have any questions for me, you may ask now. Otherwise, my time is going to be up, and I'm going to invite Anubhuti for the last interesting question to you. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah. So, Mansi, before that, so when you asked about the opportunity we can explore, I don't think when there is a will, there is a way, what I feel. So
Yes,
anything, a huge platform, we are so many people together, we are working in the same tech sector. So anything, if it's come to your mind, we can always discuss. Anybody here, we can
absolutely.
always discuss. And we are located in different geographical location, so we can do, I think, wonderful or
That's
great
the
job together.
purpose. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
That's the purpose, because we have touched now at WICCI Water Resource Council, we have touched more than 20 states. We are still to touch all the states of the country. So if you know any member, youth member or senior member who would like to join the council, the nomination is open, and I would request all of you to really circulate the nomination and get more water leaders joining us and more future water leaders joining us. So with this, let me thank you once again. I'm assuming that you do not have any question, because then I can skip answering those questions and I can take it outside the session and we can respect the time. So thanks again, and over to you, Anubhuti. Thank you for joining and also chipping in with the last part of the session.
Thank you, Dr. Mansi. It was wonderful to listen to everyone, because it's always good to have more people of your age, because Monday Munching, I usually interact with the women who have more experiences. So having people of my own age or similar age is always good. My last question to you is related to youth. So any message that you would like to share to the youth who are joining the sector on how to engender the sector, like the water sector, more? And any message that you would like to convey to them, like, yeah, just that. Over to you, Shubhi. Okay, I think I just needed a minute to think there. I think what I generally feel and happy to, I think it's more something that a movement that I want to request and invite in all the young people, my peers, to join. What I think we've been like sort of caged or colonized in structured jobs for a very long time. Also, just I think with water, what works more is a hyper local solution rather than like a generic understanding of how things work. Also, I feel like there has been a long race of competition, being the first one, being the longest one, or the largest one. So I think I really want to request everybody if we can just let go of these adjectives and be here and do the meaningful action. I really want to collaborate as much as possible, and we can all learn and grow together and give India or the world what it takes to be more water secure. So yeah, that's just like an invitation to everybody.
Right. Thank you so much, Shubhi. I would just like to share this incident. I was interning at CEW. So I was going through district disaster management plans at that time. So the thing, because I did my master's online, I couldn't learn a lot of things on ground of what water actually is. And I remember we went to Gurujal also, like we had a short trip to Gurujal and different organizations. So when we went there and we saw a lot of how a lot of difference it is, that the things that you read in your books and how you see water on the ground. So talking about hyper local things and how we need to go out and do the solutions that the water need is, I think, very important to go on ground and talk about it and discuss the matter. Thank you so much. Over to you, Deepa.
I think challenges will be there. To the young people, I would like to suggest welcome the challenges and come up with the solutions. That's the attitude. So if you say this is the problem, it's not going to help anybody. So I think welcome the challenges and come up with the solution. That's it. Yeah.
Thank you. Over to you, Monami.
Thank you. So what I would like to tell the youth of today and tomorrow is that don't be afraid. Just delve into the depths of water. It'll treat you good. You delve into the depths and you'll find your way and learn how to swim in this. So that is my words for the youth.
Thank you. Yeah, I think a lot of our peers would be happy to see us working in the field of water. It's always good to have people in different fields. Over to you, Shivam.
Yes, so majority of my work revolves around college students, especially the undergrads. So one thing which I always try to, communicate is that try to find this, we call that term as an in sync between your career aspiration. And I'm of a strong opinion that the field in water management or the entrepreneurial opportunities in the water sector is competent enough, and you can compete it with any traditional job offers or any traditional job opportunities out there. So that is one. And second thing which I would like to say to the seniors, as well as something which will also resonate with the youngsters, is creating a social investment for youngsters about such opportunities is also big. Because at times we need to build a confidence amongst the students and amongst the parents that they're receptive to make sure that whenever their child will come to them telling them that we would like to do this in the water sector, they'll have to accept it, and they should accept it, because this is a bright world. This world belongs to sustainability. The future belongs to sustainability. So that's why it becomes very crucial to create that social investment where we are all receptive about these ideas. So yeah, that's it from my side.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Shivam. I think talking about water, talking about people, how we manage water better is always something that we need more interaction, communication with people. I remember when I told my parents that I want to study water, it was very new to them. And even because my dad is in defense, he and his colleagues never understand what water is and what I am supposed to be doing in this sector. But I remember a couple of days back in my dad's WhatsApp group, there was a message. Gurujal went to one of the sites in BSF. So they had some, I think, a pond site, waste treatment plant or something. So dad told me that, see, people are going and visiting. There is an organization working in our campus and stuff like that. So it's always good to see and hear from your parents that, yeah, youth is also doing good in the water sector. So yeah. Thank you so much. I think the conversation was very, it felt like flowing. Thank you so much, Dr. Mansi, Fawzia, for joining us today, and Ajit sir, it's always good to have you. May you all remain inspiration, and thank you that you share your water endeavors in today's session. May you continue your water activities, and please keep us posted on our groups, whatever things that you're doing in the field. On every Monday, we will be having this Monday Munching session at 5 p.m. We look forward to having more women in the field of water. You may please follow us on our social media platform for regular updates. Thank you so much, and please take care.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful
Thank you
session.
so much for inviting, and I really enjoyed the discussion. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you
Wonderful
so much.
session. Thank you
Grateful.
so much, all of you.
Yeah.
Please take care.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay,
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.